Welcome. Everybody can hear me. Alright. This is Lowered Morals. I'm your host, Keith J. Bergeron. We're doing, episode 2, part 2. Got distracted by parents coming out of the exercise room and kind of broke down. And, so let's finish off this bitch. Alright. Special thanks to Joey Vilmer for letting me use his band, old band, but he has the rights to. So that was Waiting for a Miracle, and the song's called Mother May I. That is available on iTunes. You can go ahead and download that on any phone. Do that shit, because it's good. You like it. Alright. So, last time we left off with, like I said, I needed to back up just a little bit. So, when I met the dude that I helped out with the depression issue, like I said, he moved down and we ended up seeing each other a lot because I was, getting weed and shit. But, then through my buddy that I helped, he lived with another dude that they kind of became partners and started that shit, which was good. They were doing great and making money, helping me out, making a little extra money here and there. At that time, I'm still rolling at, I think, budget rent-a-car when I first got there. So anyways, I broke up with that chick that brought me to Canada to do cocaine. And before I did, after I broke up with her, because there was another kid there. He's going to be on the podcast. His name is Gib. He's actually been my best friend since after I broke up with Gina. She hated him. So, I had just met him and she didn't like him, so I kind of just stood back and didn't really like him. That's kind of how you do it as a couple. But, so she got out of my life. I just kept going over to Chris's and I met Gib. And, Jesus Christ, Keith. Cut. Fuck me. Alright, take a breather. I'm still with y'all. Still fucking with y'all. Anyways, so I didn't like Gib at first. He didn't like me at first. I broke up with Gina. Started seeing Gib at my buddy's house, and then we started hanging out and eventually became best friends. I've been best friends with him ever since. So with Gib, so I started dating Trish again. Gib and I are hanging out during the week. I'm driving up to Castleton on the weekends to see Trish. So, here I go again on my own. Don't ask me to sing. I'm fucking terrible. Anyways, so, double life. Dun, dun, dun. Now, I have 3, right? We have my relationship in Castleton with Trish. I have my parents. And I have, I guess my parents, whatever, that shit's kind of wrapped up in the same thing. But I have work. So I'd act differently at work, another person. And then when I'm with my friends, getting really, really fucked up. So I had to live that life a bunch of different ways. And, Gib and I, we would do cocaine, play cribbage, watch the Red Sox. We played a lot of poker and played foosball. So first off, it was 2004, because it was when the Red Sox first won a World Series since the curse or whatever. I know that because when they came back the first time, like they were down, I think 3-0, and the first night when they came back to win it, I was dragged up to a strip club in Canada by certain people that shall not be named. But I got roped into it, and I'm literally I don't like strip clubs. I don't think that you should have to pay for sex. I don't think that you should have to pay a girl to dance for you. I think that you find a girl that you take out if you like her and she likes you, and you go through all those steps and start a relationship, and she does the dirty like that, you know? That's kind of more my style, but I also was pretty good looking and pretty cocky when I was younger. So I pulled chicks. Doing good. It's not like today that I have to fucking have tattoos and have mohawk, fucking wear jewelry. It's late, so my jewelry's pretty much off. I just got my chain on. So, seriously, it was like, okay, I got out of work at Budget Rent a Car, and I went straight home, changed, and then I either went straight home and changed, or if I had already lined up, because I was the guy that could get things, Johnny on the spot. So when I started doing, coke this side of the border, I had to meet people to be able to get the product, and I finally met someone that we'll refer to as Ghetto. We called him Ghetto Frank or Ghetto Paul or whatever the fuck his name was, but we'll just go with Ghetto for right now. And when I met him, he was like, dude, I had to be super, super young. I was, I don't know, however the old I was in 2004. I'm not doing the math right now. I'm too stoned. I'm too tired. So, anyways, he was young. I was maybe 20, some shit like that. This kid had cocaine in a pouch tied to his dick. So, that was weird. Excuse me. But, anyways, he had fucking killer coke. And for a young guy, I was like, dude, what the fuck? So, anyways, that was usually who I had to line up. So, I either had time to go home and change into normal clothes instead of my dress clothes that I wore at Budget Rent a Car, and or I would show up to people's house, wherever I was going, in my dress clothes, dress shoes, dress pants, dress shirt, tie, buttoned up, looking all nice. I used to gel my hair and fucking fluff it up in the front. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's so many people, if they're watching right now, they're like, yeah, and you got highlights. You fucking fag. You, what? Yeah, I used to do shit like that, when the Backstreet Boys were big. I was gelling my hair and frosting those tips. Fucking baller. Definitely not. And you look back on things like that and you just gotta laugh. And if I didn't say that, like Gib when he came on wouldn't let it down. So we'll just get it out of the way. I'll tell you instead of him telling you. Shout out to Gib. So so yeah, like I was doing a lot of coke, and started getting sick of living that double life with Trish. Like it was a long distance to be driving. I just wanted to do cocaine, and hence another breakup. In this breakup, I started dating a girl from Milton, and she was just graduating high school. I don't know what my deal is, but I was young. Don't judge me, motherfuckers. Um, and the only thing I can say about her is my friends came up with, and I kind of understand it, but I kind of don't. A nickname for her, and that nickname was Moonface. I I don't know. Like her face was weird. I wish I could pull up a picture, uh, and go from there. But you guys are gonna have to bear with me until I get this tech stuff down. It's been so long from doing this shit, doing a computer in general, that I'm learning. And every week, I tell you what, we'll get better. But you gotta give me like a little bit of slack. And honestly, when I start getting guests, this thing's gonna fucking blow. Like not blow as in suck. It's gonna blow up. Was what I meant. I just stopped after blow. I don't know. Weird. Probably because I'm super super stoned. I need it because I wasn't in the best moods today. But anyways, so yeah, Moonface unfortunately taught me something that I regretted. I regret now. She taught me how to basically freebase cocaine off from tinfoil. So you take a piece of tinfoil, and there's two different sides. If you look at it, one side of the tinfoil's shiny, and the other side of the tinfoil's dull. So you take the tinfoil and you dump your coke on it, and then you take water and you drop like two droplets. So you just dip your finger, bloop, bloop, and that's it. And you start with that, and then I just wipe my finger because that's what I would have done. And then I go like this, and I spread it and spread it and spread it and spread it and spread it like into a layer. You can see it forming, and you can see if it gets too dry. If you need like another dip of water. I mean, this is probably stuff I shouldn't be talking about, but it is what it is. That's what I did at the time. She taught me how to do it. So after that, once you got a good layer all over your tinfoil, it's spread all out, you would take like a empty Bic straw, not a straw, pen. So like a Bic pen, and you would take all the shit out so you just had the white part. And it's hollow, nothing in it. And you would put that in your mouth like a straw. You could use a straw too. I just tended to use the Bics because they were a hard plastic that wasn't gonna get all fucked up in your pocket, versus a straw that could go at any minute, and it's hot temperatures. You probably melt that bitch. I don't know. I never went with a straw. I always did the Bic. Anyways, so at that time, you put the Bic in your mouth. You hold the tin foil. So like I'll pretend this mic is it, right? I got a lighter. I light a line as I'm sucking over it. It'll start to smoke. I'm sucking that smoke up out of a straw. That's how you freebase cocaine. So I learned how to do that, and then it was fucking game on for me. I'm a all or nothing type of person, so I just switched from snorting cocaine to fucking doing that shit on tinfoil. There, like Gibnet didn't like it, so if I did it, I had to go upstairs in the bathroom to do it to kind of hide, and they knew what I was doing. In fact, my buddy Scott, we called him Scoot. He fucking at the time where I was really bad, he walked in. He's like, "I see Keith's car. Where's Keith?" And Gibbs like, you know where he is. And he yells up the stairs where the bathroom is. He's like, "Hey, what up, Cracky? What are you doing up in that bathroom?" And I was fucking super embarrassed, but it is what it is. They used to rip on me about that shit because I was the one doing it, and most of them, no, all of them didn't do it that way either. But anyways, so it was good that at a certain point in my life, I had Gib, my best friend, had an unfortunate thing with his father passing away on him, and it was huge for him at the time. And this is what really, you know, formed that bond between the two of us. Is that I showed up every day at his place and made sure that I was there for him. Not I'll tell you the truth. I was there for him because we did cocaine together, and we were gonna continue to do cocaine. But I was seriously like we'd talk all the time, and I'd make sure he was okay, and we actually talked about real shit. You know, I have a lot of friends that I hang out with that we don't talk about real shit. We fucking joke back and forth, which I love, you know. Back and forth ripping on each other, and then you know, there's no meat on the bone. We don't talk about really their relationship, how their life's going, how they're feeling, all that shit that you need somebody to talk to. And I'm one that I don't really have that person per se. I do have a lot of friends that I could call and reach out to that would be there, you know, like Gib. Um, Shout out to Dan. Uh, Shout out to Ryan Kilpack. He would definitely be there for me in a heartbeat. Um, we go back and forth with helping each other. Him and I are pretty, really, really close. So you know, Gibbs my best friend, but he also lives two 2 hours and 20 minutes away from me, which is great because when Gib and I get together, we tend to party like the old days. Even though both of us are, we don't get fucked up on drugs. I mean, we smoke a lot of weed and just get into trouble. Like we don't do the hard drugs anymore, but we're still bad for each other. I love the motherfucker. But so me up in Colchester, I met Ryan Kilpack at work at Global Foundries when I was working there, and somebody told me that he played pool, so I had like reached out to him and was like, "So how good are you?" Like, because I play Call Your Pocket, and at that time I played bar pool, which now when I think about it is fucking hack as hell. Since I played leagues and played what professional pool is supposed to be, and he was the one that really got me to change. And then I started watching pool on the internet, and I just really got into it, getting all my shit down. And I got totally, totally off track. I need to get moved back to my story, not like what's going on now. But shout out to all those guys. Um, I guess at this point I'll do plugs anyways. Um, Shout out to our sponsor, Good Ink Tattooing, Waterbury, Vermont. That's my tattoo artist, Corey Barrett. He fucking rocks, and he's gonna be on the podcast on the June 28th. And that guy has got stories for days, and that will be a very interesting. In fact, I think I'm gonna have to have him on over and over and over because he's just got so much to say, and I don't want to do a 6-hour podcast. So we'll probably break that shit up. What else? The thanks to Joey Vilmer. Yeah. Shout out to me for being fucking awesome. Rate, review, subscribe on YouTube. For now, that's all I've learned how to do is put shit up on YouTube. So until I learn how to do the rest of the shit, that's going to be the only way that you can see the podcast. That's, again, Lowered Morals with Keith J. Bergeron. That's, again, Lowered Morals with Keith J. Bergeron. That's, I won't do it again. You know what the fuck I said. Had to say it twice like a retard. Oh, yeah, I'm not supposed to use that word anymore. Fuck. I got Me Too'd from the get go. I wish I was big enough to get Me Too'd. Anyways. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, let's talk about Moonface graduation party. So, dating Moonface. And she's graduating high school. I find out her dad's fucking really cool with marijuana, and I'm huge into marijuana. Always have been, or still am. So she had a shit ton of people come, and I mean a shit ton of people. And these guys are getting fucked up at her house. Uh, Out in her backyard, she's got a trampoline, but this was back before anybody did it. This dude had like excavated a hole to put the trampoline in so you could walk on. It was like grass, grass, grass. You were on the trampoline. There was obviously the springs and the little pad that goes over the springs. But like that was before I had seen anybody do it, and then they were I've seen it, advertised a bunch of shit on how to do it, blah blah blah. But anyways, that was fucking cool. Like I had never seen anything like it. So we had that as an obstacle as everybody got drunk. It's probably not the best thing because there was multiple people that fell on it, into it, like in between the springs. It was a nightmare for something to be at a party. I was 21 at the time, and everybody was drinking, and all the kids were, you know, either seniors in high school, juniors in high school, or they just graduated with her. So they're all underage. I bet there was 20 kids there at one point, just all getting fucked up. And parents and family, like nobody really cared. And then, we smoked mad weed there, blah, blah, blah. Cut to the night. We're being loud. Police come. All the kids get shuffled downstairs, including me, even though I'm legal. And they're like hiding behind a couch. And we were down there for quite a long time before somebody came down and was like, "Oh yeah, the father of Moonface had taken care of it, and they're gone." And then we just had to be quiet. But I mean, shit was crazy. As a parent, I can't see and condone a bunch of other kids and not like watching them for sure, like having their keys, making sure these kids are not intoxicated when they leave. And if they are, that's cool. You just can't leave. You got to stay here and sleep. None of that shit went on. It was just fucking all these kids do what you want. Happy graduation. It's your time now, motherfucker. Ah, shit. Throwing them to the wolves. So, broke up with Moonface. And then guess who I went back out with? Trish. All right. So I'm back with Trish. And I'm doing cocaine real bad every day, every day, every day. Then I go see her. And then I wouldn't do it for 2 days. But on Sunday, I wanted to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go because I know that there was a package waiting for me at home. Or I'd only come up for a night because I just couldn't do it. Or I was bringing it with me there. I'd hide that shit and do it in the bathroom or do it somewhere. And then Trish found out. Apparently, one of her really good friends was at a party at my buddy's house that I hung out with all the time. And apparently, I did cocaine with her. And she's a good friend of Trish's. She knew that it was true and wanted to know if I was going to lie. And as guys do, I was like, cocaine? You fucking kidding me? Why would I do cocaine? And then she had me dead to right. I just told her that, yeah, I do cocaine, on the week, during the week. And then not on the weekends when we see each other. And she's like, oh, yeah, yeah, it's not the best situation, but I can handle it and deal with it. Because I had told her, I'm like, look, I'm not gonna stop doing cocaine right now. I'm not done. I know I'm not done. I don't want to lie to you. So it is what it is. Like, either accept it or not. And she was like, but I was telling her she couldn't. Like, there was no way. Trish was too good and wholesome to date some dude that's fucking slamming lines of cocaine all week long and then expected her to be okay with it now, and I'd probably be doing it 7 days a week and whatever. So she yada yada yada. I can handle it. That's what she said. And I knew she couldn't, so I was like, fuck it. All right, well, I'm gonna have all of my friends over this weekend. Then my parents are out of town, and we're gonna fucking play pool and party and drink and do all that shit. And me and my friends are just gonna do cocaine openly. How we do it. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So that weekend came, and my buddies and I were railing cocaine, and I mean huge lines of cocaine, like this big, because where we got it, we called it. The kid's last name was Cook. We called it Cook Coke. It was real cheap, and it was fucking stomped on as a motherfucker. So to get high, to even feel shit, you had to do a foot long line. Crazy, and we were doing it stupid. Because I mean, I bet there was not much coke in it. Let's say that. We already knew that, but let's see here. So yeah, we're having that party, railing the big ass lines, and Trish brought her best friend at the time, one of her best friends anyway, Sean. Shout out to Sean Nelson. He's really good shit. You know, every female needs to have a gay best friend, and that was him to Trish, which was great for me because when I dated Trish, Sean was the one that would do all the bullshit with her I didn't want to do, like go to the mall and well, she asked me, "What about this one? How about this one? What does this look like? Do you like this?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking care. Let's go, bitch." You know, like I don't want to do that. When I go to the mall to get shit, I'm like fucking. I go through the sections, I grab what I want, and I'm gone. I don't ask. You know, Gib has a shirt look on me. Do I look sexy? Like that shit doesn't happen. You know, I'm not gay. Nothing against gay people. They're awesome. I have gay friends that are cool. They're actually cool with me, which is great because I'm fucking stupid. Sitting here wearing a Caucasians t-shirt. Batter up. So yeah, after that, like they didn't last very long. They were probably here a half hour. We continued the party, and after that, that was the final breakup with Trish, and the Keith and Trish saga ended. But did it? So about I don't know, a month later, it was getting real close to summertime, real close for her to be ending second semester, I think. And before we broke up, before she found out about all that shit, she had planned on coming here, getting a job, and living with me for the summer because I lived with her the summer before. So she had been looking for a job. I don't know if she had gotten a job yet. Maybe, I don't know. She had shit lined up for the summer. I'm just fucking stupid and slack and didn't pay attention to what was going on. So anyway, we're broken up. My mom comes to me and says, "We need to talk to you." And I was like, "Okay, about what?" And they're like, "Well," it was both of my parents, by the way. They're like, "Well, we decided that we're gonna let Trish live here for the summer still, even though you guys aren't together." And I was like, "Wait, what? No, that shit ain't happening. It's not. Like, we just broke up. She can't live in this house. Like, it shouldn't happen." And they said, "Well, she already had a job lined up, uh, and she had planned on doing stuff here. I don't know." Anyways, the point is that she was gonna live here. Period. And my parents were telling me, and that's it. And I thought that was fucked up. So I moved out, and I moved in with Dan. And this is the first apartment that I ever lived at besides being on campus at Castleton and living at my parents' house. So I moved in with Dan. He had already had the place, had an extra room, had an issue with the roommate or something, and had moved out maybe a month prior. So I move in, and I'm doing foils there, and still hanging out with Gib, still going over and watching the Red Sox, but not as much. Pretty much chilling at my house now with Dan. And then Gibbs' dad died, and Gib and I took the pack to not do cocaine ever again. And then I was still there, and there was somebody that would come to the house quite frequently and always had Oxycontin 80s. And boy, once I started doing those things, I was just, I didn't do cocaine anymore, and I was looking for the next best thing because I wasn't done, man. I was young, dumb, and ready to fucking rock and roll with drugs. I did care about women, but I cared about drugs a lot more. Like, I needed to be fucked up. So, yeah. Part with Dan. So I don't know if I want to tell you guys this or if I want to save it for episode with guests. Because when I do have guests, we're gonna play two lies and a truth instead of the game that everybody else plays is two truths and a lie. We're gonna do two lies and a truth because some of us have pretty crazy truths that have happened in their life, and I'm gonna guess my guest's truth. He's gonna guess mine, and we'll go like that. But I guarantee these motherfuckers aren't watching this shit. So I'm gonna do it anyway. On my 21st birthday, living with Dan. So it was July 23rd, living with Dan. I've invited a bunch of people over. Everybody's gonna fucking rock and roll and drink and yada yada yada. Apparently, I was told the other day that I don't remember it quite right that we went out drinking first. But I don't remember that. I think it was a different year that Dan was talking about. Because we get together and talk about this shit, like bringing up old times. And that's why I kind of started this podcast, because I can have all of my buddies who are interesting in their own way, shape, or form. I mean, the people I have scheduled have stories, and not just stories about something that they did that was funny when they were under the influence. They have some life shit that's just fucking bonkers. So we will have that. That's to come. Back to my story. Having a party at my apartment with Dan's apartment that I lived in, because I didn't sign anything. He just let me move in. We got a bunch of people there. We're all raging, and they're all drinking. And guess what I'm doing? I'm in my fucking room doing foil hits. So this is obviously before Gibbs' dad passed away, and we made a pact. But I didn't have a drop of alcohol on my 21st birthday. I don't think. I'm really. I'm 100% positive that I didn't. And all I did was cocaine. Like, I bought an ounce of cocaine for that night. And I guarantee that 75% of that was done that night, that party. That's a lot of cocaine. So, that's a brief story. I'm going to turn that into one of my truths for the two lies and a truth, or whatever the fuck. So yeah, Gib and I make the pack. And then I meet a girl that was working at Aeropostale in the downtown Burlington Mall. She's fucking smoking hot. I've seen this girl a few times. Every time I go in there, like, god damn, and she's making eyes at me. I'm like, there's no way. And I had a friend, which I cannot remember that friend, who knew or worked with her there, and was like, yeah, dude, she likes you. You should ask her out. I went and asked her out. Her name was Lindsay, and we started dating. And I instantly, like, dude, my timelines are all fucked up. I'm trying, but you gotta understand that I started all this adventure of doing drugs maybe when I was 18, and I'm now next month gonna be 38. So we're talking 20 years ago that I'm trying to backtrack and tell stories. So it's pretty blurry, especially when I did drugs and hard drugs. So My shit's kind of messed up. I know it's messed up. But I started dating Lindsay, and then Liquid Percocet was available. I was like, what the fuck's that? So it came in a little dropper, and you would suck it up and then have lines like 2 milliliters, all that shit. And then you just like kind of sucked it from the whatever it's called. You know, the things that you pinch at the top and it pulls it up. Anyways, sucked out of that shit. And it was sweet tasting. Like it actually tasted really good. And I kind of started doing that too. I had backed off the oxys. I'm thinking that I went to rehab in between that shit, and that was what the in between was that I couldn't think of. I probably did. I mean, lots of times from Dan's house, the first one I probably did, and from the second apartment I had, I know I did. You know, I just always use that shit as an excuse to run. Oh, I don't have any money anymore. Parents would be ashamed if they knew what I was up to. So how can I, you know, I'd run to rehab, get sober, and be welcomed back into the family sober, and they're proud of me. Stupid as shit, you know? Like, I didn't want to get sober. I just needed the excuse of how to transition from apartment, no money, and junkie or whatever, back to home junkie, still getting away with that shit. It couldn't happen. So I met Lindsay and I moved in with Lindsay and Liquid Percocet, Aeropostale, yada yada yada. Switched to Oxycontin, which is incorrect, right? We all know that I said that I was in the apartment with Dan when that happened. So this is why I'm saying it's fucked up, but it is what it is. That's all I got for you. We're gonna talk a little bit more, I guess. Maybe I'll give you a peek into my lineup. Let me get the old phone ski so I can do something for you. All right. So, Lowered Morals podcast right here. Upcoming guest. All right. I have these guys only like one scheduled definitely, and that was Corey Barrett on the 28th. And then I have coming on Dan Sweeney, you know, my roommate of two different times. My best friend that I shoot pool with up here, Ryan Kilpeck, and that's gonna be cool. He grew up in Florida, was doing stupid shit, tractor racing and fucking whatever, building jeeps. He's got Florida stories, and anybody that lived in Florida has Florida stories. They're just they're one of a kind, that's for sure. Then I got Gib. Gib's gonna be coming on. He's the wild child from down south that him and I get together and we just fucking run with it and party and have a great time. Somebody I can tell anything to. I'm excited about that one. Gonna have Chad Brunel on. Chad Brunel, he went to high school with me. I didn't really know him that well. But I've been talking to him recently, and phew, man, he's been through some shit. So that podcast is going to be very interesting to me and hopefully interesting to you. My buddy Josh Poole coming on, and that guy, he was a bouncer down south, and he's been stabbed and fucking, I don't know, a bunch of other shit. He just got scars all over. He worked the oil fields. This guy's super, super interesting. He's another person I met through pool. I didn't really tell you guys, but that's a huge hobby of mine, is playing billiards, playing pool, however you want to say it. I used to play it. Well, I was playing in amateur leagues. Since COVID kind of ruined everything, that shit stopped. And as of right now, there's only a few players that are getting back into it. So I'm waiting it out until maybe next session and then I'll pick that shit back up if I can, depending on my health. I never know what's gonna happen. All of a sudden, I can't breathe well again, and da 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 da, and then I'm back in the hospital with fluid around something. Thank you, autoimmune disease. Anyways, who else do I have coming on? We got Matt Monahan's gonna come on. He's apparently got a bunch of crazy stories. He got sober at 21, apparently. So that should be good. And I got a good friend from high school, Lana, that's going to be on. She's working on some things, so hopefully sooner than later she'll be on. And, dude, I'm hoping that I can get one of my parents, if not both of them, to do this podcast. And I'd love to be like, what was it like to be on the other side when your son's a drug addict? And the choices that he's made and all that crazy shit. And I'd be interested in really hearing that. And it's going to be hard for me. Hopefully I don't cry like a bitch. But he was crying like a bitch. And shout out to Legion of Skanks. Not the live show. He was crying like a bitch. Sorry. Yeah. Back to it. I don't fucking know. Hi again. Anyways, I think I'm going to end the show. I'm going to throw some music back on. Some music that I'm authorized to play. And you know what it is. You guys have heard it already. And it's going to be in every show. So this is Waiting for a Miracle, Mother May I. Shout out to Joey. Love you, brother. Keep forgetting to introduce somebody. Yo, this is if you stopped when I got up, you don't get to listen to this shit. I keep forgetting to introduce somebody. We'll have a little talk about that. So, what do you think the wood carving looks like in between the two chairs? My parents got duped in Jamaica and got this carving, supposedly Bob Marley. So I'm going to pick it up and show you in the camera a little better. Okay, what does this look like? It's definitely not Bob Marley. My take on it? It's Black Jesus. So, introducing Black Jesus. He will be with us every week. All the time. He never misses a show. Doesn't say much, but he's got my back. Black Jesus. I love you, brother.
Still listening, please rate, review, and subscribe. For fuck's sakes, I need subscribers. Corey. I can't wait for your tattoo bitch ass to be here on the podcast. It's gonna be fucking great. About bitches.